How's it going, everybody? Blake here, and this is Ramblin' Movie Takes, coming at you with a review for Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Alright, so really this isn't a movie review. This is just me talking about this movie. Because chances are, most of you that are watching this, you have already seen this movie. And, you know, there's countless reviews that you can watch. This is mainly just me talking about it and giving my 2 cents because, well, I just want to. And I know there's a lot of you out there that love this movie as much as I do. Some of you much, much more. Some of you just have an appreciation for this movie. And you just want to hear somebody talk positively about it because, God knows there's just a lot of negativity when it comes to this movie. There's so many people that hate it. But I'm not one of them. I personally have a lot of love for this movie. I do. I have a lot of love for it. And I will go as far as to call it an imperfect masterpiece. That's the truth. And that is the truth from my perspective. My truth, if you will. I hate that saying, but it is. It's the truth as I perceive it. And when it comes to art, you can subject it however you want to. And I subject Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition, as an imperfect masterpiece. Look, this movie, why do I call it an imperfect masterpiece? I call it an imperfect masterpiece because it is a film that has so much good going for it. It is unique. It is original. It is just incredible in so many ways. It really is. The way Zack Snyder directs this movie, from the visuals, this movie, visually beautiful. You would be hard-pressed to find me another comic book movie that looks as beautiful, that's shot as beautifully as Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. I bet you can't do it. But if you can, comment below. Let me know. I know some of you would probably say Watchmen. I can see that. I could see that. Some of you might even say Man of Steel. I can see that too. I love Man of Steel. You know what those 2 movies have in common? Those two movies have in common, what those 3 movies, if you want to count Batman v Superman, they're all directed by Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder, ladies and gentlemen, you will never hear me say that he's the greatest director to ever live. He has his shortcomings, for sure. But there isn't many people, there isn't many directors in Hollywood that can shoot a movie quite like Zack Snyder. Alright? You would be hard-pressed, man. You'd be hard-pressed to find a director as talented as Zack Snyder in that regard. The man is a visionary. He really is. When it comes to Batman v Superman, he crafted the most beautiful, in my opinion, the most beautiful comic book movie of all time. One of the most beautiful films of all time. And it's one of the reasons why I love this movie. And it's one of the reasons why I call this movie an imperfect masterpiece. Because inside this beautiful movie, inside this incredible looking film, is a movie that has an identity crisis. It's a movie that doesn't really know what it is. And a lot of that has to do with studio interference, too many cooks in the kitchen, a lot of people not letting Zack Snyder make the movie that he wanted to make. And as a result, we got a movie that we got a 2.5 hour cut of the film released to the theater. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really care for that cut of the film. I don't. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a cluster. I gotta say it, man. It's a clusterfuck of a movie. It really is. But you can still see some greatness within this movie. The ultimate cut, the 3-hour cut of this movie that was released to home video, is the true version of this film. It is the definitive version of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And it's still got its problems. It's still a very big movie that is just very messy. It's bloated. And it's telling a lot of different stories. And because of that, you know, I keep going back to the word messy, because that's honestly what it is. You know, it's this messy film within this very beautiful film. But within this beautiful, messy film is a story that, if you really pay attention, if you really invest yourself in this movie, you can see the story. And I believe it will help you to appreciate this movie. And some of you will say, well, you shouldn't have to pay that close of attention to a comic book movie. You know, these aren't the kind of movies that you should have to, you know, pay so much attention to understand. And that's true. I mean, in a sense, because we're not accustomed to it. You know, we're used to cookie cutter comic book films. We're used to comic book films that, you know, don't really have that big of a story to tell. I mean, they do, but they're not deep. They're not deep, engaging stories. And in my opinion, and really I guess it's kind of a fact, I mean, that's what separates Batman v Superman apart from other comic book movies, is that it is a very deep film. It is a powerful It has a powerful, powerful story. And it is a movie that I will admit to you wholeheartedly goes over my head at times, because I don't really consider myself to be an intellectual. And this movie is definitely a movie that is written by an intellectual. It's written by someone who has a lot of knowledge of Greek mythology and, you know, among other things. I mean, like I said, it goes over my head. I'm not a smart man. I'm just kidding. You know, that was my very bad Forrest Gump impersonation. But yeah, man, like, there's such a great story within this movie. It's a story of falling into the darkest pits and rising to the greatest of heights. It's a story of, you know, being the worst possible version of yourself. It's a story of giving up. But it's also a story of redemption and finding peace within yourself. Within this imperfect masterpiece of a film is a film that wants to help you, wants to help the people that's watching it to grow and become better versions of themselves. That's what this movie is about. And I know I'm being like very deep right now. Like I'm talking about a comic book movie for God's sake, but that's what makes this movie so great. That's what separates it from others. It's because it's not about being a popcorn action movie. Shout out to my cat Mo. Always interrupting my videos. At the end of the day, when I watch this movie, when I watch Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, I cannot help but just have such an appreciation for this movie. I can't help it. As much as people criticize it, as much as people find flaws with it, I can't help but love it. And I know this hasn't been the most articulate video. I'm not the most articulate speaker. And I'm still very new to YouTube. I'm still learning how to talk to a camera. Envisioning all of you amazing people being in front of me. Which I'm naturally kind of a shy person. So the fact that I'm even able to do this is a miracle. But I do like to talk. Hence the name Rambling Movie Takes. But yeah, I love this movie. And this has been my video on Batman v Superman to celebrate the anniversary of its release date. Now I'm about to go watch it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. I would greatly appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.